They wrote me off and I ain't like that, so I'ma fight that. The bad man, right when you thought that it was safe to relax, you gotta stretch that. The bad man, healers with me for real, they right here.
Yeah, man, it's the Big LAC Show. It's your boy Big LAC. Today in studio we have Mr. Daddy Everyday, Delonso Barnes. How you doing, my nigga?
Man, I'm good. How about you, bro?
I am doing outstanding. So tell me what's going on with the Daddy Everyday movement now.
Man, so now we're about to start going into full gear, starting the workshops, discussion groups, family fun events. I'm about to actually do what I'm supposed to do as a nonprofit and raise money instead of coming out my own pocket to fund these events. So I'm going to be kicking off a fundraiser soon to start putting all these events and everything together for these dads, you know, empowering these dads so they can strengthen their families and really get engaged with the community. So we're about to really be out here now.
So we talked about this before. Why are you so, like, a lot of people hear people going hard for fathers and trying to help dads out and all that stuff, and they scoff at it because a man is supposed to be stronger. Men aren't actually supposed to be in their kid's life like the mother is. What made you say, no, that ain't right? We need to empower the fathers to be better daddies.
Man, it's crazy. So this is years ago because I got a 17-year-old and a 9-year-old. So when my 9-year-old was like months old, I had him in like one of those little harness kind of joints. I was writing my book, Daddy Every Day, rewriting the Black American dad story and just talking about different things that I experienced as a father. And it doesn't match what the perception of a black father is. So that's what drove me to write that book. But anyway, so I had my son in this little holster kind of joint. Like we went to New York and everything. So when I'm getting on the plane, everybody's like, watch out, here comes super dad and all that stuff. So like it made me feel good, but then also it made me think like, is this unique for a dad to be with this kid like this? Like, I mean, there was other dads, and I'm going to say it, white dads on the plane, and no one said anything like, hey, look at, but for me, and I guess it was something they weren't used to, excuse me. But in my community, all I know is good dads. All I know is dads that go hard for their kids. Like when I go up to my kids' school and stuff, I see black dads in there with their kids. So that's what's driving me to really put it out there. Not so much to change the perception for other people on how they view us, but to make sure I change the perception on how we view ourselves as dads and men, because we're human just like everybody else. We take care of our kids. We hurt. We need attention sometimes. We need safe spaces to just be ourselves and say what's really going on with us. So that's the reason why I'm trying to go really hard for dads, because like I'm a dad, I'm divorced, I got issues that I still need to work out, and I need safe spaces for myself as well to be able to talk with other fathers who've been through this, so that we can just heal and then be the men and fathers we need to be for our kids. So that's why I go so hard for this.
Do you find it, do you see it as, you just touched on a lot of people were, yeah, go black dad. Do you see that as a form of racism? Like they just expect us not to be in our kids' lives?
I mean, I will say this for them. What they get about what we are like in our community, they get from news and maybe social media. They get all the negative. They get the narrative that people want to put on black people to keep us down. So that's their reality. They just don't see that. I see fathers playing football with their kids and doing all these things and, you know, working and everything just like everybody else. So they're just going based off their reality. So at parts I fault them, and then sometimes like if you just don't see it, you kind of tend to not think it exists. So I mean, it helps you sleep at night to just say, hey, I don't see this, so therefore it doesn't exist. But yeah, it doesn't bother me. I'm only concerned with how we view ourselves, like the black community view ourselves. That's the only thing I'm concerned with, because if we good as a community, it doesn't matter what everyone else thinks.
So, good segue. So, when you hear black men who are not in their kids' lives that much, black men that have a lot of kids and they don't see their kids, and the first thing you hear is, my dad wasn't there for me. Like, I know you've heard it. Like, I don't know how to be a dad because my dad wasn't there. Do you see that as an excuse?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely an excuse. If you think of a lot of things, I never seen my dad holler at a woman, but I know how to holler at a woman. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean that in the negative sense. I mean, like, as far as like the things you do in life, you don't always have to see a model to do it. You know what's right and what's wrong. So, like, you may not have had a dad there present who threw the football. My dad was present. Well, my stepdad, but he's my dad. He never threw the football with me. He never came to my school for anything. Like, he just worked and provided for us. All the things I do with my kids as far as going to school with them, helping them with their homework, that's me because I know that's what's needed to be done. So, yeah, it's an excuse. Now, will you trip along the way if you're trying to be the dad that you didn't have? Yeah, you'll fumble and stumble trying to be the dad you feel your kids need to be. But that trying is what's needed, not the just pulling back like, well, I didn't have that, so therefore, and I'm all right, so my kid will be all right. Nah, if you can be with your kid, whether if it's long distance or not, a phone call, a letter, anything to just try to be in that kid's life. And pass on your knowledge of whether you went down the wrong road or things you did to overcome some of your shortcomings. You need to pass that on to your kids because that's what it's about. Like with me, I tell my kids all the time, I've been there before. So when I give you advice and I'm telling you stuff, it's because I've been through it. So even if you can't be with your kids every day, it's telling them what's right, what's wrong, what you've been through, even if you can't be there in person. So that's how you break the cycle of having that mentality of, well, my kids weren't there, so they'll just learn the hard knock way. No, we need to still pass on that knowledge. And yes, it's an excuse.
Thank you. You got back around to kids that see their moms working hard, father's not there, especially young men. What advice would you give the teenage boys that saw their mom work hard all their life? They're about to leave high school, going to the world, and they have a chip on their shoulder about their father being there. What advice would you give those young men?
I will tell you this. Just don't follow suit. If you didn't like the way your mom struggled and had to go hard in the paint for you, just make sure you don't make someone else's daughter a mother that has to go hard in the paint. So that'll be my advice to you. Make sure that whatever woman you get with to make your wife, that she doesn't have to worry about having to be in that same struggle that your mom had to be in. So, like, the whole thing is what we came from that we don't like, we make sure that cycle ends there and not repeat with us. So just make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing to make sure she doesn't struggle like your mom struggled.
You need a water? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'd be like
nervous?
Talking and stuff.
You
Nah,
good?
I'm never nervous on the mic. I just be going, man, and yeah, because I'm passionate about it. So that's all it is. I'm really passionate about it. So
Kendrick is 17.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, he did. And he's about to be out of high school soon.
Mm-hmm. Next year, his senior year.
Do you think, as being the proprietor of Dad Every Day, being the man that's out here telling all these fathers and these men, giving them advice on being better than what they are for their kids, do you think that you've been a good example for Kendrick and Dylan?
I'm gonna definitely say yes on that. I still think I fall short. It's them reinforcing that I'm doing the right thing because they'll tell me like, man, I love it when you come up to my school, which is crazy because I didn't experience that. I play Madden with Kendrick every week. I probably win once every couple of months, but he loves that time. He tells me, he's 17, and he tells me, I love when we play Madden together because we're just sitting there playing. We're talking through things, laughing, joking. So that lets me know I'm bonding with them properly. Because, like, even Dylan's 9, he's not that mushy, intimate type kid, but he'll still come give me a hug from time to time and say, I love that you're my dad. Like, I mean, they're my inspiration to go hard. Like, I want to do more with them, but they're always telling me how I'm doing a good job. And it's crazy that these kids are telling me I'm doing a good job and really warms my heart. And that's my passion to keep going. So, yeah, I think I'm doing what's right with them. And that's what I really want other dads to experience, is to go hard for their kids like that as much as you can. Even if you can't be there every day. Like, I'm divorced, so I only have my kids every other week. But I take them to school every day and pick them up from school, so I get to see them on a daily basis. But the time I do have with them, I definitely try to go hard in the paint.
Was it hard for them, the divorce?
It was harder for me and their mom than it was for them. Initially, like Kendrick took it the hardest, I think, because he's the oldest, so he experienced a lot more of us as a couple than Dylan at the time, because it was like June to make 3 years that I've been divorced. And initially, I was worried about them. That's my focus, was worried about them, not getting myself together. And I think 3 years later, I'm still struggling with the whole thing more than they are. They have made peace with it. We don't live that far apart, so like the commute and all that type of stuff, we're able to work that out. But their kids are a lot stronger than we give them credit for. Like,
true.
It's about letting them know what's truly going on. I think it would have been harder if we'd have kept going and they would have saw things worse, and they would have started putting stuff together like, is this what marriage is like? That kind of thing. So I think the best thing we did was to let them know, this is what's going on. This is the situation. Mom's going to be living here. Dad's going to be living there. And so they were aware of everything and not keeping things a secret, and they were trying to figure stuff out. We told them exactly what was going on. So, yeah, kids are definitely a lot tougher than we give them credit for.
What would you say to people that pick up your book, read your books? You got a lot of things going on. You got the books, you got the workbooks for the kids. What would you say to the people that ask, who are you to give us this advice?
Sure. Everything I do, as far as my books and everything, is based off experience and me talking with other dads. This isn't stuff I'm just pulling out of thin air. This is my life experience of other dads. I wrote my first book almost 10 years ago, and wrote a couple since then, and done many workshops at schools, libraries, and corporate events. So everything I put out is about experience. This is what dads have been through. This is what dads have told me, what dads have shared with me, and then my personal experiences. So this isn't made up stuff just to fill a book. This is all based off experiences and things that other dads can learn from.
That's a good answer.
But I try.
Have you had any detractors since you started this?
No, I had more like, hey, you should go this route. Like, so one of the things that I think I was my biggest distractor almost, Daddy Every Day started about black fathers. And I tried going that route at first, and I said, you know what? Let me open this up to all fathers. Now, mind you, a lot of things I put out are universal to fathers. But when it comes to being a black father, there are things that only affect our community.
Like what?
The stigma of fathers not being present. Like every race, and this is what I learned, every race has a percentage of fathers that aren't present. But for some reason, black fathers are the only ones that are noted as typically not being present. Like if you watch any stand-up comedy, they're all gonna, from a black community, it's all gonna have a joke about the father not being there. So it's something we're putting out there, or we feel is present in our community. But one of the things they don't talk about is how black fathers are the most involved when it comes to their kids. But no one ever talks about that. Like, I mean, you can definitely do the research on that black fathers are the most engaged when it comes to their kids. So it's one of the things that people are putting out there, media, whoever, to just show that we aren't present like we should be. And that's every race across the board. Like what I want, there are people out there struggling who father should be in their lives that if they were present, you know, things would be a lot better. And I want to reach those fathers. Some fathers truly don't know how. They may have the desire, but they don't even know how to step to their kids or step to their kids' mom to try to reconnect, which is one of my books, Fresh Start for Dads, reconnecting after prison and absenteeism. There are tools you can use to help get back in to the lives of your kids, regardless of the age. Whether if they want to connect, that's on them. You putting forth the effort is important, I think, not just for you, but for that kid. So we definitely can still do more. Even if we're not present, you can do more.
That's good. So you're on social media like I am. You see a lot of moms on there bashing the baby daddies. Why are we so, especially in our community? Well, okay, do we really have a community, especially with black people? Why are we so quick to bash each other, men and women? You have an answer?
Here's the thing. First of all, the community part, that's a whole nother discussion. We definitely need to have a discussion group on that. Do we even have truly a community? But I honestly can't answer that question. Why are we so quick? Everyone else can point fingers at us. You would think we would be the strongest community because it seems like everyone's against the black African Americans, that is. Like most other countries think less of us, and even here in America, people have a low perception of us. Even with that, we're still down on ourselves. And we've been doing it since childhood, if you think about it. Team light skin, team dark skin, when I was in elementary, those type things that we do. Like, we're always cutting at each other, even if we do it in a joking manner. But it's still, there's always a certain amount of truth in jokes. You don't call a skinny guy a fat man. There's always a truth in even when you're joking. So, like, we've been doing this for so long that it's part of us. Now, you can go back and say, hey, this is things that they did to us in slavery, so they made us where we're pit against each other. But then even with that, I challenged that because there was times back in history where if you think of something like Black Wall Street, how we were all together. There's no way that would have worked unless we were all together. And I think now we have advantages where we should be all together, and we're still just as divided as the system that I believe wants us to be. And it's just time for us to stop chopping each other down and really coming together. But no, I don't understand why we're still like that.
You been to the new Black Wall Street Market up there in Stonecrest?
Yeah, it took me a minute to get up there, but I finally went up there to visit it. I love it. I want more of it. I want more of it in the sense that it's a natural thing, and this is me included, that a natural thing that we just support black owned. Like, I'm bothered because we still have to campaign buy black. I never heard that for any other community, to buy from each other. It's only in our community. Why is that? Why do we have to say buy black? Why isn't it in our community? And trust me, it is just our community that doesn't focus on building up its own community when it comes to businesses. Everybody else buys from their own. And I'm not saying you don't buy from others. I'm just saying, why isn't there a focus on buying from us naturally? Why is it something that 2023 we're still saying, and we still have to say buy black?
You know, in the black community, the dollar.
Oh,
you heard that before?
Man, that's facts.
That's a fact.
Like you think. I mean, you think about when you get your paycheck. I mean, outside of paying, rent and all that type stuff. What's the first thing you do? You go to the mall. Not just saying, you per se. Walmart. Yeah. And who that family owns.
I'm sorry, Target.
we go everywhere else to make sure we spend that money up. I guarantee you, if you stay quote unquote in the hood, you're not spending your money up there. You're gonna go up to the mall and Lenox, Phipps, and all
No,
that.
we spend our money in the hood, but most of the people in the hood
Ooh,
aren't black businesses.
true.
The corner store is Arab. The grocery store are Jews. Oh, you can't say nothing about the Jew, but it's the truth.
It's the truth. I mean, like,
If we do own something, it's a hair salon or a barbershop.
right.
You know what I mean? It's nothing sustainable. It's nothing sustainable for your household.
Right.
Because once you don't have money to get a haircut, you can't go get a haircut. But you need groceries,
Yeah.
and you don't have a black grocer in your neighborhood most of the time. You need gas in your car to get to work, but most of the gas stations are owned by Arabs or Asians, some type of Asian people. I ain't bringing you here for all that.
It's cool. It's cool. It's something that needs to be discussed, though. It's still something that needs to be discussed.
So, other than Daddy Every Day, that book, what other projects do you have out there that people can support you with?
All right. So when it comes to support me, let me just go ahead and throw this out here before I forget, because I'm bad at really plugging myself. Go to daddyeveryday.org for all the information on everything I'm working on. But Fresh Start for Dads, I'm working on a campaign to donate that book to incarcerated fathers, because a lot of times fathers sent to prison, where there's a long or short sentence, they still have to come back. They've been disconnected to their family, disconnected to the workforce. So there are things they have to get in order, even before they even get out of prison, to set themselves up for success, to get back on their feet. So that's one thing I'm working on. Family fun events. A lot of times, fathers want to do things with their kids, and some fathers just don't know, what can I do to really bond with my kids. I'm having family fun events. All this is going to really kick off this summer and in the fall, but events so that dads can go out with their kids, have a good time, and then get a sense of community. The community coming out, bonding together, having fun, fathers talking with other fathers, kids playing with other kids. I can't wait to really get that started. That's a real big passion of mine. The first event is going to be Dads versus Kids Bowling Challenge. I'll give more details on that. But that's a summer event that I'm going to have where dads are going up against the kids in bowling, just fellowshipping and having a good time. What else we got going on? Oh, Coffee with Dad.
Hold on before you go for it. Have you already started that ball rolling?
I started reaching out to bowling alleys just to come and see who's going to give me, obviously, the best rates and everything. But nothing's locked. That everything is still in the planning stage.
Any sponsors? You sent out any sponsors packages to anyone?
No, all that, like the grants and all that. Like, I have potential sponsors. I obviously don't want to put them out there and then they don't come through. But I have potential sponsors from ones that I've worked with in the past. So they already know my track record. But I'm going to aim higher this time around, because I think a lot of times I've shortchanged myself. Yeah. I know the mission is powerful, and I know others want to get involved, so it's more of me. My shortcomings with Daddy Every Day has just been me not asking for the help like I should, trying to do everything on my own. So I definitely appreciate you bringing me back out for another interview.
Damn right.
So, yeah.
But yeah, finish. Coffee with Dad.
Coffee with Dad, like having daily meetups for dads just to come through, have a cup of coffee, just to get them going with how, get their day started. Just talk about things, because like I said, dads need healings too. Black men need healing. I'm trying to tell you, we need, like, when we go through things, it's more like we just have to tough it up and go on with it. But like with me, I've been hiking with this group called Accountability Brother. And these are brothers. We just had a hike yesterday. I'm gonna have to plug them, Accountability Brother on Instagram. And like the brothers, we're all out here. We're black men. It was like at least 20 of us hiking through. I went up to Woodstock to hike through the park, and just to see the looks on everybody's faces, to see 20 black men walking together, and then we're fellowshipping. We're talking out things. Like, there's dads that are been divorced. There's dads that losing the custody of their kids, and we're able to talk things out because we've been through it and everything. So it's a beautiful thing. But I didn't realize how many other men are struggling with things. Like I've struggled with things, but I'm thinking it's me. Like everybody else kind of got it together. No, we're all struggling with something. Everybody's struggling with something. We just handle it differently. But creating a safe space so men can just let that out. So that's what one thing I'm excited about, because that's almost like a daily thing that I have where dads can come out and we just chop it up. So barbershop talk over coffee kind of pretty much.
So Daddy Every Day, are you trying to build that into a community where men can come together and have meetings and get-togethers and stuff like that?
Man, that's my ultimate goal, is to actually have like a whole center just for that, like where every day there's something going on, classes, workshops for dads to come through, men in general just to come through, to not just fellowship, but to learn. Like we can learn from each other and provide dads with the tools and resources to be better men, to be better fathers, to work on themselves, to work on their relationships with their kids, work on their relationship with their wives or their significant other, just so that we can heal as a community. Because I think a lot of things that are missing, I think if we had a better presence of the black father in our community, it can turn things around. Because I'm not going to front. Black mothers are holding things down. They really are. Got to give them props, but black fathers need props too. We are out here now. Don't get me wrong. We are out here. I just think we need to be more present. Like, even if we are working, like even with myself, I still challenge myself. Even with all the things I'm doing, I still challenge myself to go harder, because I still know there's still work that needs to be done. And this community, this black community, is not where it should be. And I know we can do it. Like seeing those 20 brothers walk in, it was like 9 in the morning. It was a chilly day, but we came together. I know we can pull more of us together and make a difference in this community.
Man, that's dope. That's dope. All right, I'm gonna get you out of this hell on this. You have the Daddy Everyday book. You also have a Mommy Everyday book, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
All right, so a couple of years ago, after I did Daddy Every Day, which my biggest seller was two mothers buying it for their husbands, for their brothers, and then one mother in particular said, "You should do something for mothers as well." So I gathered a group of mothers and combined my knowledge from what I learned from doing research on dads. I started doing research with mothers. So the book has mothers contributing their stories to things they've been through, and then me giving my anecdotes as far as like from the male perspective of what women are going through. And then it's almost like it's a conversation piece for mothers to read, like getting the male perspective and definitely getting that perspective from what other mothers are going through. The book is Mommy Every Day, Finding Balance in Motherhood. And that's what it is. First of all, I can get on a tangent about balance, because I think people have the wrong perception of what balance is. You never truly have balance. It's a thing that you work on every day. And I think mothers need to be aware of that you can't never have true balance. It's something that you have to measure every day. And the book gives great details on how to find that balance in motherhood. So I'm very proud of that book. And it allowed me to talk in other venues that I wouldn't have had the opportunity to, because everything I do is mainly for a male perspective. But that book has definitely opened some doors to expand my range as far as my speaking engagements.
That's what's up. Pitch your other stuff. What else you got? Dad Every Day, the book, the kids' games.
Here's now one book I wrote is ironic, because I have 140 date ideas book for dads, mothers, boyfriend, girlfriends, and it's a list of 140 different date ideas. Most of them are free. The ironic part is one of the things that was probably the killer for my marriage is I didn't date my wife. And I definitely want to put that out there. You need to date your significant other, no matter how long you've been together. We were married 17 years, but I definitely didn't date her enough. But out of that, I wound up writing a date book, and it's almost like one of those things like, I wish I would have did a lot of this stuff while we were still together, that kind of thing. So definitely the date book, Fresh Start from Dads. There's a second edition of Daddy Every Day, rewriting the American Black Dad story. Then I got Kendrick Big Book of Stuff. That's the title of it. And where he came up, this is when he was probably about 10, came up with different activities for kids to do, but then it's also something a parent can use to kind of see where their kid is at, because it asks questions in the book, like how's your day and that thing, and the kids draw how their day is. So this is a tool for parents as well, while the kids think they're just having fun, but the parents can actually use it to kind of gauge where their kid is at. So those are a couple of things. Now my next book I hope to start writing this summer is called The Black Family Legacy, and I want to start working on us leaving a legacy for our kids, because I think that's the advantage that other races have, is that they're actually leaving things for their kids when they pass on. Our kids are starting at ground zero when we pass, and then that cycle just continues, but we should be leaving something for our kids, for them to build on, so that when they pass along, they have something for their kids to build on. So I'm trying to work on stuff so that my great-grandkids, even if they don't get a chance to see me, they feel the effects of the things I did when I was around.
That's dope, man. Now, give everybody all your social media information and where they can reach you and all that good stuff.
Shoot, everything's almost Daddy Every Day. On Instagram, Facebook, Daddy Every Day. I'm trying to get into LinkedIn. That's where I should be, for sure, especially when I'm trying to go after these grants. I'm going to put it out there. You know of grants that support fatherhood, hit me up. But on LinkedIn, Delonso Barnes on LinkedIn. I really haven't been really doing Twitter. I never really got into it, but I'm going to start. But I do have a Twitter. It's Daddy Every Day 24. And, yeah, but you can find me out there. I got articles, videos. Shout out to Big LAC for that. So, yeah, you can find me out there. I'm out there. Daddy Every Day or Delonso Barnes. You're going to find something.
Man, I appreciate you coming through again.
I appreciate this, brother.
We're going to have to link up every few months.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Straight. Thank you again, and that's been a Big LAC Show.
I'm out.
Peace out.
Peace out.